What's up? It's my turn to start it off. It's my turn to start this week off. And I'm starting my topics off talking about Dumpy. Yeah, you heard. Dumpy. Anywho. So, we all know that Dumpy pulled out of the Iranian strike 10 minutes before it was supposed to actually happen. And basically, they were trying to say that they were going to strike Iran because a unmanned surveillance drone was shot down. Now, the Iranians say that that drone was actually in their airspace, and that's why they shot it down. But what I found when I was actually researching this was there was also another aircraft that was actually in Iranian airspace that did not get shut down, and it had 35 service members on board. So the Iranians shot down an unmanned surveillance drone, which I don't know why y'all trying to surveil those people anyway. You Dumpy are the one that sat up there and got out of the deal saying, oh, it's a horrible deal, it's a horrible deal. And yet you're trying to surveil them, even though the deal actually had a provision in the deal with the Iranians that there was an oversight committee that would go in to make sure that they weren't making nuclear weapons. But you pulled out of that deal. So they can do whatever the fuck they want to do now. There's nothing you can do about it. Anyway, so when I found out about this aircraft that was actually in their airspace that did not get shut down, and it had 35 service members. And when I mean service member, I mean members of the U.S. Army, Navy. I think in this case it was Army. But, the branches of military were on that particular aircraft. And it did not get shut down. So I'm kind of wondering if originally when they was going to do this strike, they were going to say, oh, yeah, our aircraft that had 35 members was shot down, but that didn't actually happen. So then they wanted to pin it off on the surveillance drone. But then it's like, but ain't nobody was in that surveillance drone. It just cost us money. And we can recoup money, but we can't recoup lives. So, yeah, we should really try to figure out who in the world sent that aircraft over in that airspace in the first place. So just keep your eyes and ears open on that. Anybody else know anything, you can comment. Moving on. 3 countries in South America had massive power outages. That was Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. Now their systems are intertwined with one another. So if I can only surmise based off of could possibly happen if you share a power grid with another with another country. If their power grid somehow goes off, then it's going to do like a trickle effect. And then, well, now you see power outages for all 3 countries. So that sucks. But a lot of people are speculating that this was actually a cyber attack and that people were actually targeting to try to shut down their grids. And if they're all intertwined, then all you got to do is basically shut down one and you end up shutting down all 3 of them. So there's that. My last topic, and it's going to take me a second because I'm heated on this one. Let me address all those people out there that have family members, okay? What I'm about to talk about, I just want you to think in the back of your mind, what if that was me? That's it. That's all I want you to think about, okay? So, a couple was accosted by police in Phoenix, Arizona, when their little girl, 4 years old, walked out of a Dollar Tree with a $1 doll. Now, they call it a Barbie doll. Anybody that has ever been in a Dollar Tree know there ain't no real Barbies up in that piece. Okay? And it costs $1. Let it go. Okay? I don't give a fuck about the fucking doll. The way those police officers responded to that family because a $1 doll, because it's the only thing they actually, on all, cases and all reports, whether the, reports of what they would consider anti-cop. I'm not anti-cop, okay? I don't like bad cops, okay? Bad cops are bad for the system altogether, okay? And if you're a good cop, you really should be holding yourself to a higher standard to say, And just have some standards. Like, if you know that your partner is committing crimes, you should not be covering for that partner, okay? Plain and simple, because you are the law enforcement. Personally, this is how I think about law enforcement. If you are going to be a cop, this would be if Tasha ran the world type deal. If I ran the world, one of the stipulations in order for you to be a law enforcement personnel, doesn't matter whether you all the way from, FBI to the smallest sheriff, I would require for all law enforcement to go to law school so you can learn the law that you are supposed to be enforcing. At least 2 years of that. Because my thing is, how you going to enforce a law that you don't even know about? So anyway, back to this story. Plenty of videos, you can either go to Google or YouTube or whatever, shows that this couple in Arizona with their 2 little girls were held by gunpoint after they got to, I guess, their babysitter's house. And the cops just roll up on them, talking to them like the cops are talking like they the drug dealers, like they the hit squad. Well, I'm like, talking about get your hands in the fucking air. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bust the cap in your ass. Seriously? I think y'all been watching way too much gangster movies, particularly gangster movies that got black people in it. Police officers, please stop watching the gangster movies. They're not, your vocabulary is fucking up right now. All right, anyway, moving on. Get back to what I was saying. But when I heard the cries of those little girls, and the black man got his hands behind his back, and this police officer, you do what I motherfucking tell you to. And it's like, he's like, yeah, I am, sir. I am doing what you say. I am complying. This black man sound more calm than the cops. How you getting arrested and you sound more calm than the fucker that's... Sorry, because I respect good cops. So out of respect of good cops out there, I'm not going to call y'all fuckers. So excuse that. I'm sorry for that. The other ones, like, bruh, like seriously. If you don't feel like you can handle the stress of being a police officer, please don't be a police officer. There are tons of other ways you can make money. I promise you there is. I mean, you can start a YouTube channel and make some fucking money. You don't need to go out here and try to be all badass and frankly, anyway. The other part of this story is that Jay-Z was basically helping this couple to with their legal fees in order to sue the Phoenix police officers and the police department. And I hope they win their case. And I hope, other than the rhetoric of, oh, we gonna get some more training. Just when you have cops like this, just be like, we can't hire you no more. You need to really find another job, because you just need to find another job, man. You'll be much happier not having that stress on you every day. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Girly. That's all I got. I love y'all. Bye. Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty. I am Mandy Nice. And before I really get into my topics for the week, I just wanted to piggyback off of something, actually one of the topics that Tasha spoke about. And I posed this question to all individuals and people, groups of people as well, that have authority. So whether you are a teacher, a preacher, a mom or a dad, whether you're a part of the police force or are a police officer, or a part of, a law enforcement group, I want to pose this question to you. If you, yourself or your family, whether it's your wife, your mother, your brother, your sister, your husband, your cousin, your aunt or your uncle, or even your grandchildren, if you were treated the way that the Phoenix police treated this family, would you be so flippant about them, about you getting justice? Would it be just, oh, they failed to comply, although the videos don't show that? Or the cries of the babies, that doesn't touch your heart? So that's what I'm posing to you. Any person that has any kind of authority, would you have wanted to be treated that way? And I'm pretty sure your answer is no. And I'm pretty sure you would want to react in some way. So just take that into account the next time you're dealing with another human being, regardless of race, color, or creed. Let your first lens be the lens of, this is another person. This is a person that has flesh and blood just like I do. And what I do to them, I ultimately do to myself. Again, if you were in that position, would you have wanted to be treated that way? Regardless of the fact that the child took a doll. Would you want your grandchild to be staring down the barrel of a gun for a $1 doll? Just a question. Okay, so now on to my first topic. So, let's talk about a person that actually has more evidence on them and is not getting that same treatment from any police officers. So the DOJ has opened up an investigation into Deutsche Bank for possible money laundering. And one of the targets of their investigation just happens to be Ivanka Trump's husband, Jared Kushner. Now, I don't see anybody running up to him and putting a gun all in his face now, do we? No, we do not. No, we do not. Okay, so there's that. And another incident involving criminal activity. A $1 billion drug seizure of 16.5 tons of cocaine were seized in Philadelphia. That's 3,300 pounds. Now, just imagine that, okay? So, of course, it's being processed right now, and there's an investigation to try to figure out who supplied these particular drugs, because after it left the port or after it was supposed to leave the port in Philadelphia, it was supposed to make stops in Europe. So the countries that we do know of that the boat originated in was Chile, then it went up to Peru, through the Caribbean and into the Philadelphia port. And that's where it was then seized by the Philadelphia police. So there you go. And again, don't see a whole bunch of guns being drawn there. So there's that. Lastly, some better news, hopefully. Facebook is launching its own cryptocurrency by the name of Libra. Besides that, I know Libra season is in about 2 more seasons. So just a shout out early to y'all, you Libras out there. I'm not a Libra, but I have plenty of Libra friends, and a very close person to me is also a Libra. So there. So just a quick breakdown of cryptocurrency for anyone that doesn't know what cryptocurrency is. It's an elaborated way to say electronic cash. Now, not to make it too simple, there are over 4,000 cryptocurrencies. And the one that most people know about is Bitcoin. And the way that they go about for people mining their particular cryptocurrency is through a system where your software has to basically solve tons and tons of elaborate algorithms in order to for you to be able to gather all of one Bitcoin. So this particular cryptocurrency, Libra, it will be underpinned managed by a group of 27 companies, including Facebook, including Uber, and also Visa. So they are supposed to be managing this particular cryptocurrency, and then the Libra, basically the Libra platform or software or network will be how it is put into place using blockchain. And blockchain, not to get too technical with you guys, but it's basically data stuck together, and each piece of the data is encrypted so that nobody is supposed to be able to hack or steal the cryptocurrency. So there's that. That's pretty much all I have, because I took a lot of time with the one question, and so there's that. So, all right, you guys, thanks. Well, thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Nice But Feisty with Mandy Nice and Tasha Feisty. Ooh, oh, yeah.